You can get one full month supply of D-Snore absolutely free. Call now.
Right now, it's your local forecast on the Weather Channel.
You are tuned to the Weather Channel. We have Storm Watch, and we'll take a look at some of the severe weather we've been seeing in the nation's midsection and even the Northeast, and that heat wave. Tell you how long that's going to last. But let's first examine the tropics. Looking at climatology first of all. In July, yes, things do happen sometimes in the Northwest Caribbean. Bay of Campeche, we did have a depression just the other day, if you remember. Very short-lived one. And maybe even the Northern Gulf, Bahamas. If you remember back in '94, we had Alberto, which was a devastating rainstorm. It never got up to hurricane status, but especially southwest Georgia, parts of the Florida Panhandle, southeast Alabama, up to 20, 22 inches of rain. Beryl came up in August the same year and hit some of the upslopes of the North Carolina mountains with some damaging flooding. So it can happen in July. Back in '95, we got a fairly running start to the season in July. Bahamas, the Caribbean, and central deep tropical Atlantic, they usually move off to the west. Looking at the big picture right now, we have westerlies very strong. You can see the high cirrus clouds coming through in New England and offshore through the mid-latitudes of the Atlantic. Ironically, with these westerlies, you're having a blast of heat, too, in the Northeast, so not like the winter when they bring some chilly weather. And then we kind of curl around to high pressure aloft, but not supporting development right now. We do have pretty good trade winds and some thunderstorms in the major Antilles. In the Gulf, we'll take a closer look at that. Not too much threatening right now, but a pretty good low pressure system that we saw coming southwest of the Cape Verdes yesterday about this time that is trying to get organized, and there is warmer water ahead for it. So there are other factors like a good developing environment, and the environment is fairly neutral where it is, not hostile. Thanks for tuning in to the Weather Channel. I'm Mike Bono. Well, we have a look at the heat wave in the Northeast and much of the Middle Atlantic region. We have some severe weather to report in northern New England and the Midwest. We'll tell you where that's headed on Tuesday, how long that heat will last, and we'll take a look at the tropics in about 20 minutes too. First of all, the heat. We're going to show you some pictures. And New York City, it started out hot and it finished hot. In fact, at LaGuardia Airport, you had a low of 86 degrees Monday morning, a low of 86 degrees for calendar day July 5th, and it was about 82 in Central Park. Then in the afternoon, it got up to 101. Washington, D.C., looks like the Lincoln Memorial. At National Airport, it was 102 degrees, and I believe Dulles was up around 100. Just one of those ridiculously hot days in the capital. Not the best. Thanks for tuning in to the Weather Channel. I'm Mike Bono. Well, we have a look at the heat wave in the Northeast and much of the Middle Atlantic region. We have some severe weather to report in northern New England and the Midwest. We'll tell you where that's headed on Tuesday, how long that heat will last, and we'll take a look at the tropics in about 20 minutes too. First of all, the heat. We're going to show you some pictures. And New York City, it started out hot and it finished hot. In fact, at LaGuardia Airport, you had a low of 86 degrees Monday morning, a low of 86 degrees for calendar day July 5th, and it was about 82 in Central Park. Then in the afternoon, it got up to 101. Washington, D.C., looks like the Lincoln Memorial. At National Airport, it was 102 degrees, and I believe Dulles was up around 100. Just one of those ridiculously hot days in the capital. Not the best of vacation times. Time to stay inside air-conditioned monuments and memorials in Washington, D.C. Let's take a look at those high temps. Of course, you would expect it to be hot in Las Vegas and Phoenix, 106, 110, 110. But usually this time Thanks for tuning in to the Weather Channel. I'm Mike Bono. Well, we have a look at the heat wave in the Northeast and much of the Middle Atlantic region. We have some severe weather to report in northern New England and the Midwest. We'll tell you where that's headed on Tuesday, how long that heat will last, and we'll take a look at the tropics in about 20 minutes too. First of all, the heat. We're going to show you some pictures. And New York City, it started out hot and it finished hot. In fact, at LaGuardia Airport, you had a low of 86 degrees Monday morning, a low of 86 degrees for calendar day July 5th, and it was about 82 in Central Park. Then in the afternoon, it got up to 101. Washington, D.C., looks like the Lincoln Memorial. At National Airport, it was 102 degrees, and I believe Dulles was up around 100. Just one of those ridiculously hot days in the capital. Not the best of vacation times. Time to stay inside air-conditioned monuments and memorials in Washington, D.C. Let's take a look at those high temps. Of course, you would expect it to be hot in Las Vegas and Phoenix, 106, 110, 110. But usually this time...
$1.99. That price ain't gonna last, so shake a leg.
To cover hurricanes like we do at the Weather Channel, you need experience.
You need a team with experience.
Working together, getting it right for you.
The Weather Channel, keeping you ahead of the storm. Right now, it's your local forecast on the Weather Channel.
This edition of Weather Center is sponsored by Oppenheimer Funds. We appreciate you tuning in on this Tuesday morning. I'm Rick Griffin here with Cheryl Lemke, and it's the top weather story in the East again today is going to be, for many of you, another day of incredibly hot and oppressive conditions.
I would venture to guess that ice cream sales are going to be going through the roof today.
Absolutely.
What do you think? Yeah, I think a little bowl of shaved ice or ice cream would probably really hit the spot right now, because we've been talking about really scorching temperatures. And I guess the good news, though, is that if you can just hang in there for about another day or so, things will be cooling off. But today, unfortunately, no relief. All right, let's see how things are shaping up across the country. And as we take a look at the latest satellite picture, you can really see a front that's dangling right now from the Great Lakes, trailing back towards the Midwest, and then all the way down towards the southwestern states. Along the front, we've been seeing some showers and some thunderstorms. More importantly, though, too, the front, as it continues to work its way eastbound, it will finally offer some relief from this stifling heat wave. Now, it won't be markedly cooler behind the front, but you will see temperatures averaging about 10 to 15 degrees cooler behind the front as it finally pulls on through. So with that in mind, those of you across the east, you still have to endure maybe another day and a half or so of some very hot temperatures. And finally, after that, we think things will be cooling down for Wednesday and for Thursday. So again, just kind of sit tight, because things will eventually be getting better. Here's a sample, though, of some of the high temperatures yesterday. 90s and low 100s, quite common throughout the northeastern corridor. Quite stifling hot for New York City, for Philly, and for Washington, D.C., as we saw temperatures eclipsing the century mark. And again, these temperatures are way above the average. It was so toasty yesterday that several record highs were set. Newark, Washington, D.C., Raleigh, Durham, Harrisburg, Baltimore. Just a really extensive list of record highs. And let me point one out in particular, this one for Islip, New York. Now, that's across Long Island. It was an all-time record yesterday, up to 102 degrees, the hottest ever for Islip, New York. So that is really showing us how incredibly hot this heat wave really has been. When you factor in the humidity, though, it felt even worse. And there were many places right across Long Island where the heat index yesterday soared up to 118 degrees. So it was brutally hot yesterday. Again, here's another listing of some more record highs that were smashed yesterday. Now, we once again run that risk of seeing more record highs being established today, as again, 90s and 100s will be quite common. One thing that we've noticed, though, this morning is that little backdoor cold front has been trying to work its way across New England, and it has dropped down towards around the Boston area, but we think that backdoor cold front will eventually lift on out again, allowing temperatures to once again skyrocket into the 90s and the 100s. Already off to a very balmy start this morning. It's 75 for Albany, 85 for New York City, and again, temperatures already into the 80s for Philadelphia, D.C., and even back on into the Baltimore area. So again, we can't overemphasize the point that once again today, it's going to feel like a pressure cooker across the Northeast. So if you're doing anything outdoors, especially anything strenuous, you really want to take frequent breaks today, drink plenty of fluids, make sure that you put on a sunscreen and wear the sunglasses and a wide brim hat and protect yourself against the sun, because it will once again be a brutally hot day across much of the east. Here's the cold front, though, that we've been making reference to. The cold front right now working across Michigan, but it will steadily be marching eastward. Come tomorrow, it will finally work its way through the Northeast, and then even cooler weather likely to flow in by Thursday. So hang in there. Into the southeast we go. It's our first day back after a long holiday weekend. And right now, not looking too bad, as most of you are venturing back off to work this morning. Pretty quiet this morning for Dallas and Houston and New Orleans, and not much happening either for Atlanta, Jacksonville, or around Tampa Bay. Quiet this morning, but that may not be the case come later this afternoon. As the heat and the humidity starts to build, that oftentimes will be fueling some thunder showers in the afternoon. So a large part of the southeast will have a chance to see some random showers and storms, but especially so, though, for eastern Texas, as we also have a little upper level disturbance drifting across that region. Be mindful of the fact that some of the showers and storms could drop some locally heavy rain, as was the case yesterday across Louisiana. Some locales picking up a half an inch to an inch of rain. So keep those umbrellas on close by around the area. Now, meanwhile, around Birmingham, it's currently 75, 74 for Atlanta, and a very sticky start already down across Florida. What about the weather, though, across the rest of the nation? Let's check it out now with Rick.
Thanks, Cheryl. Well, for the Great Lakes, the relief from the heat and humidity arrives today in the form of a cold front, which is actually moving across the region right now. As we go to our surface map, you can see it bearing down on Chicago and Milwaukee, and later today, Detroit and Cleveland. We'll see a wind shift to the west-northwest and drier, much less humid conditions will begin to move in from the high pressure center, which is over the northern plains and upper Midwest this morning. Now, right along the frontal boundary, there's an area of cloud cover, scattered showers and thunderstorms from Lake Huron and lower Michigan eastward to about the upper sections of the Mississippi Valley, eastern sections of Iowa. Now, most of the showers and storms are decreasing in coverage and intensity, with the heaviest downpours near Houghton Lake, also out over parts of Lake Michigan, heading out into the waters of Lake Michigan northeast of Milwaukee. Otherwise, light showers as we track west into eastern Iowa between Cedar Rapids and over the Mississippi River in Moline, Illinois. Ahead of the front, very steamy conditions. Dew points well into the 70s. Behind it, you can see the dew point readings fall into the 50s, a much more comfortable situation. And the dry air will be pushing in today into Chicago, into Madison, Rockford, also into Milwaukee, while later today, Cleveland, Detroit, and St. Louis will begin to see less humid conditions. Very warm this morning, but behind the front, it's cool to the 40s and the 50s. Well, now let's take a look at our Tuesday forecast. Back to Cheryl.
Okay, here's the weather map then for later this afternoon. We watch our cold front continuing to make some progress eastbound, and that will likely spawn some scattered showers and storms later on today from Detroit, eventually approaching the Buffalo area and then sliding back towards Indianapolis and Cleveland. Again, as the heat and the humidity continues to percolate across the south, we'll see a few more of those hit and miss showers and thunder showers as well from Alabama and Georgia and westbound on into Texas. Into the northeast, for the most part, it will stay fairly dry. But by late in the afternoon, again, thunderstorms will start to work their way across the eastern lakes and trailing down towards portions of the Ohio Valley. Into the southeast, no really wide coverage of the rain, just some really random showers and storms. And if for those of you who might be vacationing in Florida, it doesn't look too bad this afternoon. Highs near 91 for Orlando, a warm one though, and 89 for Miami. And across the Midwest, showers and thunderstorms again along the front. Behind it though, lots of sunshine, a beautiful afternoon for Minneapolis.
Very nice in Des Moines and Omaha, too. So travel conditions there will be excellent, but in other parts of the country, you may have some problems.
That's right. We'll check it all out coming up next on Travel Wise. Don't go away.
This program was sponsored by Oppenheimer Funds, the right way to invest.
Even though I've been around the world, international investing always seemed foreign. Then I learned about Oppenheimer's international funds. Their strategy I can relate to.
Oppenheimer Funds, the right way to invest.
Range Rover, the most advanced thinking ever found in a 4x4. And now, for a limited time,
of all-wheel drive at a Subaru dealer near you.
We keep you ahead of the storm. The Weather Channel team monitors, tracks, analyzes, keeping you prepared. That's what we do.
The Weather Channel, keeping you ahead of the storm. Right now, it's your local forecast on the Weather Channel.
From Boston and New York City to the Carolinas, these kids have the right idea. Hit the pool, do anything to stay cool because it's going to be brutal for anyone outside without plenty of water. Northeast is on the hot road to a new round of record temperatures with high, oppressive humidity. Hello and welcome to Weather Center, sponsored by Buick. I'm Mark Mancuso.
And I'm Marshall Seas. We're seeing another potentially deadly day developing over a wide part of the eastern United States, especially in the Northeast.
Yeah, the New Yorkers are all across the state are being asked to limit electricity use. Utility officials are warning to expect brownouts through the night. Nearly about 8,000 people in the Washington, D.C. area, for example, have been without power as the power companies are unable to keep up with the high demand for electricity.
Looks like we've got another 24 hours of that, and then we'll be out of the woods, and Mother Nature's air conditioner is going to kick in a little bit.
Okay, already some signs of relief.
That's right, some signs of relief. It'll be certainly a scorcher for the Big Apple again today with highs over 100 degrees. Philly will also sizzle under the sun, getting a...
Natural health products, supplements that work, period.
cover hurricanes like we do at the Weather Channel, you need experience.
You need a team with experience.
Working together, getting it right for you.
The Weather Channel, keeping you ahead of the storm. Right now, it's your local forecast on the Weather Channel.
Folks along the eastern seaboard are finding the pool is the place to be. You can avoid the life-threatening heat and humidity without adding to the extreme demand on electric companies. And that demand to power air conditioning is growing to grow today as many of us see record high temperatures.
Come down here off the coast.